I would go into entrepreneurship earlier. You need to experience the low before you get to enjoy the high. You can chase your dream, but don't forget why are you chasing your dream?
Hi, this is Michelle Hon, and you're watching the Chill MomBoss Show, where we believe you can achieve your MomBoss goal with a little bit of strategies and determination. Today I have with me Charlene Sim, who's my friend and the founder of Glowfully. She really why I have Charlene here today is because she has been in the corporate world for the majority of her adult life, and she finally taken the step to move into mompreneurship. And I think a lot of you are going through that transition right now or thinking of making that transition. So let's hear it from Charlene. Welcome, Charlene.
Hi Michelle, thank you for having me today. So a little bit about myself. I'm Charlene, also known as Miss Black on social media. I'm like what Michelle say, a mompreneur. So I'm currently the founder of Glowfully Scheme and also the agent and distributor for eFresh Singapore.
So how did you? So I know that you flew with SQ,
Yes.
and then you were in a pharmaceutical company for a long time.
I think
Wow.
11.
11 years, yeah, while you were, managing motherhood and this, sometimes having a job is a good thing, right? You just get the salary, it's
Yes,
easy life. But
definitely.
what makes you want to, just step out and start your own brand?
I think I started eFresh first in 2009. So eFresh came about coincidentally. So after delivering Lauren, I had a really bad bout of hormonal acne. So it was like hormone imbalance, and my entire face was with acne. So, and by chance, I tried eFresh, and miraculously, it's the only thing that seems to be able to calm my acne. So I was immediately hooked on it. I start to use it daily, and I start to bring it in bulk for myself, my family. And I remember back then in 2009, forum is like a big thing. So I started like a group buy on forum. So I started to kick off from there.
Right.
Yeah, and I did like 3 years of group buy. So and when finally the forum fever kind of died off, I moved eFresh from like business to consumer to a B2B concept where I actually sell it to salons and like those home-based salons where they actually bring it to their customers when they come to their salon for an experience.
So that's a good example where you just don't, a lot of people think that, okay, you just from here, you jump from here, but actually in the middle, you actually have, sort of like put one foot into entrepreneurship on, bringing this brand eFresh into the market and started talking to customers, receiving feedback before launching your own thing. So I think it's a very smart way to go.
In 2009, I was probably like most of what other mommies is going through right now. I don't have the courage to do it. Alright, it's like you just bought a house, you just have a baby.
Yeah.
You have so much commitment. I don't think it was the right time. And it was just I was passionate about the product.
Yeah.
So it kind of like okay, I take it as a sideline.
Yeah.
So and it wasn't really that busy then. So it was good enough. And honestly, I think if I were to really quit my job then and focus on eFresh, I can still make ends meet, but not very well, but you still be able to. It was only in 2017, with the online fever now, I decided to change the business strategy to move it back to B2C. So I stopped all salon and I moved the whole entire, because I believe the salon wouldn't want their customers to have things that they can buy readily off the shelf. So I changed the strategy to B2C. And all this while holding my main job.
Yeah.
And it was tough. So my typical day would be like, getting up, sending the girls to school, then heading into the office until 5-6 o'clock, and then come back home with the girls, spend some time there. So when they are in bed, I will basically be doing everything till 2-3 a.m. I had minimal sleep during that 7-8 months when I was pregnant.
Trying to do it all.
And what was the thing that really missed out me decided that this is it. I need to give up on something.
Yeah, it's either the business gotta go or the job's gotta go because we can't refund the kids. The kids has to stay.
Yes.
So it's either the business
Exactly.
or
So it was a very, very tough decision because honestly I was holding a decent pay check. And I was, it was very hard. So for me it's like the key is if I don't let go of something, my sanity is gonna go.
Yeah.
Because I'm losing my cool over the slightest thing with my kids. It's like they'll be mommy, I'll be like, go away, I'm very busy, okay? And like, when I think of something, they'll suddenly, mom, I say, oh, you just blew my thoughts, my thought process.
I know.
It's like you lose your cool over the slightest thing. And my husband was even commenting that it's so hard to talk to me during that period of time. Is that you're always looking at your phone. If not, when I call you, you're not picking up because I'll be rushing off my
somewhere to somewhere.
Yeah. So, and I realized that I'm losing the things.
It's not working out. Something's got to change.
Yes.
And eventually you just, okay, the work's got to go. I'm going to focus on e-fresh at that point.
So the good thing, okay, I like to believe it, that is, I had quite good track record in whatever I used to be doing. So I told myself, okay, let's give myself 2 years. So in these 2 years, if it's not going to take off, I think I still have a little bit of market value to go back to what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So, but let's put my heart and soul into my business for this 2 years.
Yeah.
And the other thing is also I feel that, like I mentioned, time with who that really matters. So I need time to ferry my mom around for her medical appointment. So it was kind of embarrassing that you every other week you're applying leave. And it's for you to talk to people who know a mom with kids who are working. They always have this concern that people don't understand their fellow colleagues don't understand.
Yeah.
They always think that they are doing lesser than the rest, but in fact we are doing a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's like they will think that she goes on leave again, because of this. But while we are on leave, we are actually covering up the work at home. So I remember one of the jobs, not my last one, I actually resigned because I overheard one of the key managements commenting that, I really hate it when the ladies use family or kids as an excuse to take time off. I was like, okay, I think we have different belief. The culture here doesn't suit me. So yeah. So I feel really it's about time management.
Yeah, and I find that I'm like sorry to the corporations out there. Like women has so much value and we can bring so much more. Yes, we may not be in the office all the time, but have you heard of remote work these days, right?
Yes.
I mean, we can get a lot more done away from work, to be honest.
Exactly.
Like I read a survey recently or a study recently that says, 40% of the time when people are at work, they're not actually working.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
because your attention span is only for that short amount of time.
Yes.
But moms, we have somehow this ability to, even though if we have like a short 1 hour at home, but we need to just catch up on work, we get it done.
Multitask. We are queen of multitasking, right?
Yeah, so I think it's the corporations or the companies out there who don't embrace this moms wanting to have a family and work balance, which I believe we all can. But if you don't encourage that in your culture, and it's that their loss, and it's good for you to find out. And otherwise, you would not have taken that that step to come out.
No, that happened not with
Then the next job.
My next job, my bosses, they are all very nice. They are all mummies. So it's
okay.
always good to work for someone who is also a mum.
Who understands.
Yes, so they can really understand like the need, and they understand that even when you're at home, we don't take things for granted. You give us the flexibility, we give you back,
More.
Yeah.
Yes.
So most of the time when they allow me to do things outside the office, I give them more in return.
Yeah, but it's just more. It's more so for yourself that I think we do not work less. Don't be confused that if you leave your job, you get to work less and be a mom boss and work as and when you please. We actually work even harder.
Yes.
Don't you find that you actually work harder? Because when you have a job, you can just, when you finish at 5 o'clock, you just, okay, I'm no longer an accountant at 5, I'm just me. On weekends, I'm just me, But when you're a mompreneur, it's 24/7.
Exactly. I would say that that's one part of it. The other part is when you're at a job, you're probably hired as like maybe a marketing person. So your role is that marketing person. So but unless you have the luxury to hire an entire team right at the start of your entrepreneurship, if not most of the time people started with one-man show, right?
Yeah.
So when you are a one-man show, you are basically everything. So you are like the manager,
you're the packer, you're the one who goes to the
logistic, you are like the regulatory. So but I would say that although it's very tough, but the learning curve is very steep. So, when I was working for the 11 years, I never understand what's the role of a regulatory. I never understand what's the role of maybe a customer service. I mean,
or admin,
yes, the importance of finance, or even importance of HR, because you have to hire interns, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's like when I first started hiring interns, anything as long as they can,
Exactly. But there's so much paperwork and things that goes into it, and CPF and stuff.
Yeah, so you are basically everything. So if someone were to call your business hotline, if they press 1 for sales or 2 for every number goes back to you.
That's true. Which the one reason why most moms do go into their own business is because of flexibility of time.
Yes. Like I mentioned earlier, I felt really bad that because my husband travels very so I do not want to compromise on ferrying the kids around like for their classes. So I work around the time. But things like my mom recently she got diagnosed with cancer, so she has to go for a chemo and the treatment takes like an entire day. So I have to apply leave. And the good thing is my 2 brothers and I we take turns. But the thing is, even the 3 of us take turn, it's a weekly treatment. It's kind of often that you have to apply leave. It's getting a little embarrassing for me to like submit my leave form. Yeah, so it's like, and whereas everyone in the team is like fighting for some KPI for that month that's set by the boss, and then you do feel like I'm like a burden to the team. That feeling. So I do enjoy the flexibility now. So like what you say, the good thing about being a mom boss is the flexibility. I can set aside this day is non-negotiable, it's family day.
Yep.
So every other thing I will squeeze it to the other days.
Yes.
And you don't need to feel bad. Yeah, so that's the beauty of mom boss. Of course on the other days you do have to make it up by working really hard to ensure that you still meet whatever you need to do at the end of the day. Yeah, this is the beauty of
That's great. That's good. So I've got here two products from Glowfully Skin. So you started with the cleanser first.
Yes.
So what's the idea? Like, okay, maybe let's go back, let's rewind a little. And so from eFresh, then you decided that maybe I should just formulate my own product and have my own brand.
This is something that I wanted to do since like years back, even when I was just doing eFresh as a sideline. I always wanted to, but I never had the courage, and it was also a big investment. So when I started to focus on eFresh, then one day I do get challenges here and there. So you get infringements and things like that, and I got so upset. Then I'm telling myself, I think it's a calling for me to fulfill my dream. Then I'm thinking, okay, and let's do it. Since that I'm doing it full time, I can focus on it. So I say, but I only have funds for one product because unlike people with huge investment or investor coming in, it's me, myself, and I. So I took out my huge saving. Then I calculated, oh gosh, I only have like enough for one
to formulate one product, put a brand on it, and bring it to market.
It boils down to which product.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like everyone needs to cleanse the face, right? So and the thing is, I asked myself when I was a kid, what is the first product that I used?
Yeah.
it's cleanser, right?
That's true, yeah.
So
Yeah.
as a young girl, you don't go with applying serum.
Serum.
right?
I don't know what serum
Yeah,
was.
so like everyone believe like the first product a girl starts will be
We go out and get a simple or something. Remember back in
yes.
those days?
so
Yeah.
no mine I was using Hazeline, so I
Oh,
use like
really? Yes, yes, back in those
yeah,
days.
so it's cleanser, so I was like okay then let's try cleanser. And the other
So you just really just, you just by yourself just thinking, okay, cleanser, I'm just gonna go do cleanser.
in my mind I know
Did you do any
eventually
market research? Did you ask anyone?
actually to be honest I didn't. It was
Oh, okay. That's a huge, like, that takes
Reason.
guts, and trusting in yourself.
I would say if I were to do it again, I'll probably do more market research. So I know eventually I'll have the whole range. It's just that I have to know which one will
and
be the first.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
You don't go and design a whole range and then find out that people don't want it.
Yes.
So just start with what they call it, MVP, right? Like a mini viable product that
Yes.
people can just first try it first, get
I
to
would say
know.
also you have to work out your strategy yourself. I mean, you can actually, unless you have a huge bunch of investor, the best way is actually to have the entire range or at least a few, so that people know your brand as a few and not just one product.
Right.
But for me, it was like a calculated risk kind of thing. So I was telling myself, if it doesn't work, then take it as I have to restart all over again. But I do not want to be so much in debt that I have to borrow and start the whole range. I just want to put a limit to what will be my loss in
Yeah.
the event that
Yeah.
it doesn't take off.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the best way to invest. Really, just get ready that you are comfortable if you do lose this money, right?
Yeah.
But just go for it, isn't it?
Ah.
So I like to know, right, from the moment that you decide, okay, this is it. I'm going to start my own brand. I'm going to look into how to formulate a product and go about doing that. I'm sure there's a lot of work goes into this.
Yes.
To the day you sold your very first cleanser,
Oh.
how long did it take?
A year.
A year.
But I was being slow. So the lab and the chemist was so annoyed with me because I was alone. So I couldn't decide what exactly was the key ingredient. So they have been like I formulated like 12 or 13
Formulation?
different.
Oh.
So each time I'll say, then they'll be asking.
Also, you need to find out
No,
what
it's not
you
about
like
the
about it, and then
fragrance.
quite-
It's also about the texture and boil down to the individual ingredients.
Yeah.
So then I will suddenly have like a very good formula that I think, oh, I like it. Then I will start talking to friends and because I was used to be in pharmaceutical line.
Yeah.
I talk to some dermatologists. Then they'll be saying, oh, you shouldn't include this ingredient.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh really?
And then you take
I
it out
start
again.
I start to research, oh yeah, I think this ingredient is no good. Then I'll be calling the chemist, I'm so sorry, I think we need to redo it. And they were like, but I thought you said that it's the best.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was slow. I took about a year. And at one point, I think my chemist was almost going to give up on me. They couldn't take it anymore. So, but eventually from the first to the second, it was 3 months. So
What do you mean? Like when you sold the first one
to the second product.
or the second product was a lot faster?
I learned to be more decisive. Yeah. Like some things you just really can't be thinking so much because each time while you are thinking, you are losing opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, so I realized that from the first experience. Then I decided the second one you just have to do it and
Right.
go.
This must be to me it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? So when you first decided, okay, right, I'm gonna have my own skincare brand, then how do you know what's the first step of what to do? Where do you find the chemist? Where do you
Okay, the thing is because of my contacts all from the past 9 years, 10 years with eFresh, and I'm also invited to some of their key factories and that. So you start to realize the role, and I was given an opportunity also to work with one of the R&D department in Taiwan University, which is why we came up with the mask.
okay.
Yeah, so it is true opportunity from
Right.
Yeah.
So that's right. I think that's also one of whenever I coach a student, we always go back and see what is the one skill that you you have that other people don't.
Yes.
Sometimes you think like it's just so easy to me, right? But to other people it's valuable.
Yes.
So for you, it's your previous work experience that brought you to all these factories, and you gain this knowledge
Yes.
that you now put into your business.
I would
Then
say
you're not really starting blind and trying to go into an industry that you don't know at all, because
Yes.
each of us we lived here for 20, 30 years until we start our first business. We have our own unique skills. We have our own unique experience that's different from everyone else.
Yes.
And always tap into that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a mom who is very good at cooking. She can start like her cooking class.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
It's
do
like
what you are.
to people like, oh, but I cook every day, it's so simple. But to people who can't cook, you're a genius.
Or even to someone who cooks every day, it is a good time to learn new recipes
Exactly.
and mingle with people of the same interests.
Yes. You get my language. So I know that your husband is very supportive. You have a very supportive family, and that's definitely helped in this journey as a mompreneur. But of course, it's not always easy. But when things get tough, what gets you going?
The good thing is now I see my mom every day because she's like. Previously, I deliver lunch to her every day, but now she's staying over at my place, so I see her every day. So my mom is a tough lady. So a little bit about her is she brought us up single-handedly. My dad left us when we were very young. So for her, she was holding multiple jobs just to ensure we have bread on our table. And I remember clearly that when I was like 10 or 11, because she had multiple jobs, one of her jobs was she had a store at Albert Complex, which is now the OG Albert.
Oh yes.
It used to be called Albert Complex. She has a store there, and part of the building requirement is whether there's business or not, you're required to open your store every day. And I was 10, which is Lauren's age now. I was made to head down every day after school to man her store because she took on the role of a property agent, so she has to go for viewing.
So she makes you
and at 10 I was in so much angst. I was like, why must I do this? My friend will be asking me, hey, hi Charlene, you want to join us at McDonald's? And I'm like, no, I can't. Then I'll be like so much angst in that 1 hour bus journey to, it's like, why do I have to do that? But I guess that molds who I am today. That experience, that the courage to speak to a stranger at a very young age to sell things, right? I remember, one stranger, a lady told me, oh little girl, I'm not really interested in the product that you're selling, but you're so cute. I just want to encourage you to continue.
Yes.
So I remember that to this day. So, I remember all the hardship that we went through. And now that I see my mom every day, it's like, if she can do it, why am I even saying that it's hard? She was even harder. She doesn't have a husband. She was all alone. I have a husband now. I have a helper, the luxury of a helper. I'm much more blessed than her. So I think it's about when you are, remember that you're fortunate. Always count your blessing. So I believe everyone has something that you feel you're blessed about. So remember that, and I think that keeps you going.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm having chills listening to that story because I think my mom also did a lot for us. One day I'll share. If you have your time again, what would you do differently?
If I have my time, I think this year is very hard, especially 2019, because I quit my job. In 2018, right? So right after, something like, everything happened so quickly. We went to get a house, and wow, my God, the house is also something that is taking up a lot of time. So if I will do it again, probably I will not get a house. That's for now. I won't, because that's taking up a lot of my time. And if you're asking me,
so you felt like that may not be the right time to take on such a huge project alongside, starting your own business and going through your mom's and family situation right now.
And if I have the time again, I'll probably start to go into momprenneurship earlier. Earlier. The reason is, I think, priority shift, when you get older. When I was younger, when you just started working, and because we grew up in poverty, right? The desire to break free from hardship is so strong. So my mom as well. So for us, the desire to want to be successful in life is so strong. So for me, when I just started working, my mind is all about making money to ensure that I won't go back and my kids will not have to go through what I went through. But then, when my mom got diagnosed with cancer, I realized that it's rather sad because, human beings, we spend our prime, our good years fighting for everything that we want, and even at the expense of our health. Then when we realize that something happened to us, we give up whatever we have built just to gain back the health.
Yes.
So I think I would go into entrepreneurship earlier, because during the time that I was working, I was more focused about ensuring that I bring back enough money so that I can have more luxury life.
Yeah.
So now that I'm as a mompreneur, I feel it's about the quality of time spent with your loved one.
Yeah. The things that matters,
Yes.
right? I mean, I think everyone's been through that when we're in our early 20s, still young and fresh and still very ambitious. We want to earn more and, buy the best thing. But then it gets to a point when you realize that we really don't need that much to live on.
No.
To live, you can really live very simply, but have the right values down, like, time and health and I think your mom, being diagnosed also makes you realize that time is running out for all of us. So if you really want to do something, just get it done.
So I feel the key message is you can chase your dream, but don't forget why are you chasing your dream? It always boils down to family, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Love.
So if you want to do it for your family, remember that you need to be in good health, so that you get to enjoy the life with them when you are, when it's time for you to retire or it's time to enjoy your fruits. So while you're working hard, don't forget to take care of yourself. And this is also the key reason why we actually work with Breast Cancer Foundation for the second product. Yeah, the key message is to actually remind women that each time you rip up the mask, because there's a breast cancer logo in front.
Oh, is it? Right.
Yeah. So and you remind yourself, have you gone for your yearly screening, or even if you're really so busy, all you need is just like a 5-minute of self-examination, right?
Yeah.
And to ensure that you're in a pink of health.
Awesome.
So that's also the reason
So is it
why
a portion of the sale goes to Breast Cancer
So
Foundation?
we work with them to donate a part of it and to them, and we also pledge that in the event we do not meet the amount, we will still donate 5,000 to them by Breast Cancer Awareness.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think it's a key message to remind everyone, and I think now they are having like the free mammogram thing for all women. So I just hope more women can actually really remind themselves that you need to be healthy, because you want to attend
be there
your
for your
daughter's
children.
wedding, you want to look after your grandchildren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At the end of the day, it's all about our family, why we work so hard for, isn't it?
Yep. So remember what's the main thing that actually bring you into this business.
That was such a heartfelt interview, so thank you very much. But before we end, I'd love to get your advice for our audience, for aspiring mompreneurs out there who are thinking of starting a business, who are in a job right now, but just have that fear of putting a step forward. What would you say to them?
I would think that having fear is normal. So I always tell my brothers or whoever that asks me, I see there are a lot of people with great ideas, okay? But there are only that handful who has the courage to take that leap of faith. So, be the one that step out of your comfort zone, because you almost never grow when you're in your comfort zone. And never be afraid to, or never run away from things that you're afraid of doing. So I gave an example, I always say that life is like a classroom or a school. So you may hate math, right? You hate math, but you still have to go through the exam, right? So when you go through the exam and you fail, what happens? You retake.
Yeah.
And if you fail again, you retake until you eventually get to the next level.
Okay.
So in life it's the same. So you hate this thing and you drag meeting face to face, so
Yeah.
you escape. But life is very smart. They will make sure it comes back to you in some other part, some other situation. It will make sure it comes again and again until
That's
you
true.
eventually can handle it. So that's when you graduate from this course and you'll move on to primary 4 of math. So the next level. So you will just keep coming back.
That's true, and that's how you grow.
Yes, so
Yeah.
so never run away, but learn how to tackle it. So if you're thinking about doing a business but you're fear, so do your calculation, take calculated risks. So I'm not saying that you should just jump in and do your
exactly.
calculated risks and go for it.
Yeah, and especially like I think like how you share your story, right? Just put one foot in, can still hang on to your to your job,
Yes.
and then just do it as a side hustle and see if this is something
Yes,
that really suits you, and when it slowly pays you the
Yes.
same amount of what you're earning in your job. But sometimes it will never, but it
It's
gives
the
you a
passion.
bigger passion and purpose, then just go for it because life is short.
Yes, and nobody starts off successful. I believe you talk to anyone who is successful, they have their lowest point in life.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Correct.
it's the low that makes the high, the
Highs.
up so amazing, right?
Yes,
So
that's
you need
true.
to experience the low before
Yeah.
you get to enjoy the high. Yeah.
So to those of you who thinks that this has been very helpful to your life journey, or you think that this video would be helpful to someone you know, do share it with your friends. And with that, I just have to say goodbye now. Bye.